The initial years of architecture again was crucial because खानदान में किसी ने architecture कभी किया नहीं. So I was quite shameless in asking work because I think अगर आप शर्म करोगे तो आप पीछे रह जाओ. Trust me, when the client came in from Hong Kong, they gave us a compliment that this is the quality of finish we don't even get in Hong Kong.
A calm mind really allows for creativity to flow. Favorite memory from your work experience working with Hafeez Contractor?
So it is the most amazing story that I have ever experienced in my life.
Welcome to the Beyond Blueprint podcast. I'm your host Akhilesh Chitlangia. I'm the third generation entrepreneur from Duro Ply Industries Limited, where I serve as the executive director and COO. Through this podcast, our aim is to demystify the architectural and design space in India. I hope you like the content. If you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. More great content coming your way. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Blueprint. Today with me we have Prashant Chauhan from Mumbai, and his Instagram handle is celebrate_life. I'm happy to have you on the show today. So just want to get a little bit to know about you, how you've grown up and how did you get into the space of architecture?
Well, thank you so much for having me. But I am a person who's just evolved, I would say, and I think I would love to keep evolving every day till I die. So that's the learner attitude that I always have. So this learner attitude was there, of course, in the school also. But क्या हुआ कि parents obviously wanted me to join engineering and medical, but obviously I knew that I was not made for it. So I kind of sneakily got myself into architecture. Very sneakily, because I kind of gave them a bahana that नहीं हो पाया, admission में line बहुत लंबी थी and stuff like that, which kind of they believed also. So it was kind of quite sneaky. And then eventually once I got into architecture, I thought कि हाँ चलो मजे करेंगे.
How did your parents take it that you उनका बेटा engineer की जगह अब architect बन रहा है? How is that at home?
So first, apart from engineering, the option was BCom, and they were at least happy that I'm not continuing with BCom. So obviously they knew that at least he's doing something which is more difficult than BCom probably. So that was one thing. Also, I had some interest in naval architecture, which didn't go through because it was at limited courses and limited colleges which were offering that course. But then eventually, I think I landed up in the right place at the right time. So I think my entire life has been serendipity, as you call it, because right place, right time kind of a thing has happened a lot of times with me. And the initial years of architecture again was crucial because पता नहीं था क्या करना है. खानदान में किसी ने आर्किटेक्चर कभी किया नहीं. हमें पता नहीं था कि बिल्डिंग कैसे बनाते हैं या क्या होता है, क्या बेसिक्स होता है. A lot of my classmates were kind of a little aware that at least ये होता है, ऐसे काम होता है, या they were aware of the basic terms, and हमें तो वो language ही नहीं आती थी, तो it kind of was a little alienish, I would feel that क्या हो रहा है ये. And the best part was basic design class, which used to always be a bouncer because teacher ने जो brief जो दिया है पता नहीं होता था करना क्या है. I used to just experiment something and present. I mean, shamelessly present because there was nothing else to do because at least काम तो किया था. And teachers used to always appreciate. I don't know why. So it was kind of a magical scene that I used to just do something and they used to appreciate because they used to feel that there is some essence into it or some rhythm into it or some. And even I was trying to find out कि exactly मैंने क्या किया ऐसा जो इनको पसंद आ गया और मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा. So it was kind of right place, right time kind of a situation again. Which was funny because even you don't know what you've done right and still you are getting appreciated, which was good. And a lot of encouragement from teachers, of course. So
your friends would have hated you in college, huh?
Sort of, yes.
brag करता है कुछ मेरे को कुछ आता नहीं है and हर चीज में number 1 ले जा रहा है.
Sort of, yes, always, because they used to always feel that I am the teacher's pet. And even I didn't know कि मैं teacher's pet बना कैसे या हुआ क्यों. So it was kind of I think just blessings from Saraswati ji that it kind of just made me do things rightly at the right time, and I think it was just magic. So
and you met your life partner in college?
Yes, I did. So it was again magical because I saw her first day in the canteen at when the freshers had just come in and we were in third year, and I just saw her in the canteen and I was like, this person looks something different, So and then I just expressed that I wanted to speak to her and get to know her.
But
and
you were
stuff
senior.
like that. Yeah, of course I was senior. So it was good to kind of have a junior by your side doing your work. So it was good, and having a full-time assistant with you during the college days. So it kind of became a good exercise in mentorship as well. And of course, I used to also have a few other juniors with me because I have, I think, learned a lot from mentorship during my college as well. Because I used to be a lot with my seniors, stay with them, literally, work on their projects. So it kind of made me learn a lot from the regular class. So I used to be outstanding student in the class because I used to never sit in the class. I used to always be out of the class, and I used to learn a lot from my seniors. Used to learn a lot from other colleges because we used to participate in a lot of competitions outside the college, and I think that's what kind of gave me an exposure to another world.
Right.
Because when you're sitting in the classroom, it kind of is very different, and you kind of limited to certain things.
Right.
But when you kind of step out, to another class, another a senior class, and when you step out to another college, it kind of just changes your perspective completely, because you know that, oh, what we are being taught is not the only thing, and there are things which are apart from that.
Right.
And that's when I realized the depth of architecture as a course.
Right.
Because that's when I understood that architecture is not just architecture, it is design, and design is all around us. I mean, right from the minute you wake up in the morning, that toothbrush has been designed by somebody to achieve that kind of results. And that's how the process started to a deeper level, that why do you want to do a certain thing in a certain way. And that's where the questioning and the learner attitude kind of came in. I think I have learned a lot from a lot of my seniors, and all their hard work with their looking and achieving what they have achieved, and then replicating that into what we could have done. So I think that mentorship kind of really helped me a lot.
You mentioned something about design, the toothbrush. Everything in life is all about design, right? Um, and it's very few people who actually look at the very basic things of things and realize that yes, that everything has been designed with a particular perspective. Um, ये insight came naturally to you, or is it something that you became aware of while you were designing in going through your architectural education?
So yes, while I was going through architectural education, I was quite fascinated with everything, because I think I was seeing things for the first time in the world. I mean, because I think till 11th, 12th, I didn't have that kind of exposure. I mean, the maximum that I would have seen was, with my parents. But this was a completely different exposure. I used to travel to other cities with college, with, on study tours. And that is when we started realizing that, observing a minutest thing, like, say a flower growing,
Right.
to say a product design, to a furniture design, to a textile design. That's when I understood that design is boundless. And I think that's what we've also been cheekily using as our tagline, ZERO9, design is boundless. So it kind of is today has shaped us because of all these explorations. So I used to help my seniors a lot with their graphic design. I used to kind of just sneakily keep learning Corel Draw and Photoshop and all these softwares, and I used to help my seniors present their sheets in a very nice way. So they used to always look forward to me, and literally मेरे लिए booking होता था कि he is coming to me for these many days, and after that he is going to this person, and after that. So it kind of just made me schedule myself well, plan myself way ahead of time. So I knew कि अगर मुझे यहाँ पे 3 दिन रहना है तो अगले 2 दिन का कैसे plan करना है, stuff like that. And this graphic design, in fact, today a lot of my seniors are my clients for my advertising division. So they kind of still till date kind of bank on me for their graphic design.
So very interesting. I was going to come to this a little later, but we'll come to this. So you have the architectural and interior design side of your business,
Yes.
and then you have the branding and graphic design side of the business.
Correct. So one wing is architecture interior design, and the other wing is advertising and exhibitions. So exhibitions is again fun because that is what I explored while I was freelancing in my early days. So that's when I got a call from a company saying that we are into hardware and we want somebody to design our exhibition stall. So can you do it? So I said, of course I can do it. I mean, why would I not be able to do it? Because I always believe design is boundless. So of course, I mean, I have to stand for myself. So that's when I kind of went ahead to meet them to understand what they were looking for. And I realized that they were looking for a solution which was quite modular, I would say. Because they said that I should be able to use this same stall in a smaller size as well. Say if I have to participate in a 5-star hotel, I should be able to carry only this much. So I said, fantastic. I mean, that gives me a nice challenge, So let me design a completely modular stall, which I can break open and I can stack it and I can literally take it anywhere. So today you give me a 3x5 stall, I can do that. Tomorrow you give me a 3x7 stall, I can do that. You give me a 2x2 stall and I can do that. So, my first stall itself was an exploration into modular stall. And I think that's when I learned a lot, evolved a lot, and we kind of designed, customized stuff completely for them, which was a self-sufficient unit, which was with the floor, with the light in itself, and with the entire display and the graphics and branding and all of that. So it kind of was a fun thing for me to also explore.
Very interesting.
And that's when I realized that seeing around, I saw a lot of people doing a lot of huge waste. Because हमारा stall तो reusable था. And I saw that everybody on the day of dismantling, they were just breaking open the stall. And they were just throwing that stall because the trucks would come and they would just pick up all the stuff, and they used to actually pay them 10,000 rupees to just pick up the stuff. I said, ये तो raw material है. ये देने के लिए मैं पैसे क्यों दूँ? So that's what this idea struck to me, that we are a huge waste generating industry, and there has to be something definitely needs to be done about this. So that's where we came up with the idea of modular stalls. And today I'm proud to say that we minimize waste. In fact, the clients that we deal with, we precisely put our foot down that if you're going to repeat your stall, only then we will work with you. And we kind of repeat their stalls over years, and I'm proud to say that for few of the clients, I've been repeating their displays for 7 and 8 years now. Earlier, we used to do a contract for 3 years, but now we've kind of stretched that, made it 4 years, 7 years. So it's and plus a repeated clientele, so which is a big thing in exhibition industry, because exhibition is a very volatile market. Today, for saving 50,000 rupees, a client would easily jump to another vendor, saying that I'm saving my 50,000 rupees, but today the client knows what value we're giving them. So they know that these guys are going to repeat my material and minimize my cost. So that's another beauty of.
So we've participated in a lot of trade shows, right, as part of my mainline business, and I get what you're saying. Now that you've given me something to work on, and maybe we can have a discussion on this offline. But yeah, it is a very big issue. And then there are a couple of things, right? There's wastage of material, and it's also a lot of clients. And I'm sitting from the client's hat. For their own self-satisfaction, they want or naya or bada, right? Not realizing that the customer who's walking in, if you actually have a similar theme or a stall, not a theme, but a stall design which is continuously consistent, it actually builds a better brand. You can change the graphics, you can change the communication a little bit. Of course, you have a new product launch or something, it modifies accordingly. But if you don't give the same, and I see this with a lot of international trade shows, year on year, the stall in the same trade show is at the same spot with a very similar look and feel and theme. And
So just interrupting you on that front, because this is a big achievement for us. Once a client in diamond industry, they kind of challenged us, that in Hong Kong we get a fantastic finish of stall and stuff like that. India is a little difficult for us because we've never got that quality of finishing. And of course, since we were kind of dealing with them for I think 2 years, I think since then, so we said, okay, we will deliver a world-class finish for you, don't worry. And they were still skeptical about it. And for the first time during an exhibition, we have made a spider-glazing for a client
Okay.
in an exhibition in a minimum span of 3 days and 4 days. And trust me, when the client came in from Hong Kong, they gave us a compliment that this is the quality of finish we don't even get in Hong Kong. So that was a major achievement for
Yeah.
my team, that
Yeah.
how we could actually bring in that quality of finish even in an exhibition stall,
Right.
and achieve that level of finish out here as well.
Amazing. So the stall design space, branding space, that's a passion project, or it's two separate verticals, the architectural side and this running separately at their own pace and own steam?
Both ways actually. Both ways, because it is of course definitely passion, because I think whenever there is advertising or exhibition, I like to roll up my sleeves and dive
Right.
deep into it. I am usually in that ZERO9 t-shirt which the entire team wears,
Right.
and I'm in a proper worker suit working with my team.
Right.
So that's a passion, of course, and I think I really don't want to kind of lose that, because I think that keeps me
Right.
young and motivated. Young because I think that leads me to the first stall that I have done, and motivated because I think that there's so much more to achieve.
Yeah.
Because I think we're just dealing with 5 or 6 clients who are now educated.
Yeah.
Ki, yes, let's minimize waste, and we have so many people to still motivate and kind of educate them that waste has to be culminated. So that's what I kind of really look forward to. Of course, architecture and interiors vertical, I would say I'm kind of a little relieved because of my wife taking care of that entire thing on a day-to-day basis, because that's not my cup of tea. So I can't really do a daily follow-up.
So वो college का setting अभी भी चल रहा है life में.
Exactly.
Very interesting. So architecture interior side, what I've heard, and you can elaborate a little bit more on this. Your firm is quite picky on the type of customers who you decide to work with, right? So a little bit about that, because normally you don't have an architectural background, right? You're coming completely from a different field, different world.
First generation
Right?
architect.
First generation architect. Went to college. College happened seamlessly for you. Did, I believe, a lot of freelancing work. Did you do any apprenticeship also?
So I interned with Hafeez sir,
Right.
architect Hafeez Contractor, and that's when I learned to manage quantum, because I think at any given point of time at that office it was like a well oiled factory.
Yeah.
Machinery. It was like machinery. Every project was like amazingly smoothly running, and I think Hafeez sir, hats off to him, because he almost knew every project by heart. He knew everything. So that really motivates me, because it kind of keeps me on the toes, because when you see a person of that stature to kind of literally know the minor details of each project, it's commendable. So after that, I kind of worked with Talati and Pantiki, TPA, and that's where I, of course, experimented a lot with interiors and corporate interiors.
Right.
And that's where I found myself getting a little stagnated. So I dived into art direction. So that's when I, kind of started doing film sets and movie sets and stuff like that, and I kind of explored that.
What have you not done? What do you want to explore?
As I said, design is boundless.
Yeah.
So I think now the next thing that I want to really explore is making music with the help of AI. So that's the next project on my mind running. So I'm constantly thinking about my music and thinking about the lyrics and how to do it and stuff like that. So that's the new latest exploration that I'm doing.
While working in Hafeez, you said that you learned how to deal with quantum of work. Very few firms have been able to scale the way Hafeez Contractor has.
True.
What makes it so special? What is it about that vibe in that organization that's allowed them to get to that space?
I think it's the steam of the person behind this entire thing, because I think without him, not everybody is kind of into that. No, I mean, not everybody can think like him.
Right.
So that's I mean, a very motivational aspect of him, which I kind of always cherish, and I kind of am lucky to kind of have him interacted with him one-on-one, and that's really kind of keeps me on the toes.
And a favorite memory or a story from your work experience working with him directly that you'd like to share?
Yes, absolutely.
Uh,
It is the most amazing story that I have ever experienced in my life, because once I remember Hafeez sir always used to sit on that desk very open, and it's like an open office. He doesn't sit in the cabin,
right.
at least at that point of time. So and his desk was right in front of the staircase where you walk up, so he can literally see you down, he can see you all. So he's like full on CCTV camera itself. So he used to always take phones on hands free on loudspeaker,
All right.
because otherwise हाथ में phone रखने का task, and how to
Yeah.
multitask. So that is again another trait of his, which was multitasking. And once he called somebody and expected the person to be there, but the person was not there, and the maid was there. So the maid answered and said, हाँ सर आप कौन बोल रहे हैं? तो he said, हफीज कॉन्ट्रैक्टर आएंगे ना तो उनको बोल देना हफीज कॉन्ट्रैक्टर. कौन? हैप्पी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर. So he said, हाँ हैप्पी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर. आप लिखो स्पेलिंग HAPPY, हैप्पी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर. I think that is the most amazing memory that I have had with him, because the entire office was laughing, because I think that these kind of things really make you understand that the kind of sense of humor and the kind of wittiness that he has, even in that heated moment of calling up people and making work calls and stuff like that. So I think that's a cherished moment that I always keep with me.
Lovely. What got you to start your own practice? Like, when did you decide, okay, enough is enough, I'm going to go on my own? How was that journey? How did you come to the decision? And then how easy, hard, tough was it?
So that was again quite organic, because while I was working with Talati and Pantki, one day I used to always travel by bus, so obviously when you bought the ticket, what do you do with it? You fiddle with it. So you kind of just keep folding and you kind of work out. And I don't know why, but I just on that particular ticket I saw the number 09, and I was just thinking randomly. Then it just made me deep dive into the thought of numbers, and I don't know why, it just happened. And I said, 0 is the number, if I add to 5, it gives me 5. And 9 is the number, if I add to 5, it gives me 14. And 1 plus 4 is again 5. So 0 and 9 are, and I did that combination to all the numbers. And I found that 0 and 9 are the only two numbers. When you do all this, you kind of land up with the same thing. And I said, yeah, I mean, this is what we want to really achieve, because why do you want to? Because see, we are not artists that I can paint something today and lena hai to lo, nahi lena hai to mat lo. I believe that we are architects and we are a service provider, and we want to deliver something which the client is really looking forward to. So if a client wants to build a farmhouse, I'm not going to build a tall high-rise building for him. I'm going to build a farmhouse eventually. So it is not my fascination. It is something that I need to learn and listen to him. So that's again, 0 is again the India's gift to the world, and that's why 0 definitely was a motivation. And 9 again, because of the number being transformational, because if I push something and it just doesn't go any tangent and it just stays similar to what it is, but I've just bettered it, like 5 plus 9 becomes 14. So 14 is a slightly better version of 5 maybe, but still not very different from 5. That is how I think. So it kind of led me to, it's a very subtle way of changing things, which that person was not able to do, or a client was not able to do, and we've just added a little value to it. So 09, that's why it kind of shaped up as a name, definitely. But still, we were not so serious. I don't think I was very serious about having an own firm and stuff like that. But I had still created a logo. I had still, started freelancing in the name of 09 and stuff like that. And we were offered coaching classes to be done out of a residential grid. So we did that, experimented. We were offered a residence apartment, did that, experimented with it. Few things which were kind of crucial in the project, like the client wanted a certain thing, we kind of achieved that, and it gave us sense of satisfaction on a level that what they were looking for definitely is what we have achieved, and we've of course added value. So that was there. But then I was also teaching, it kind of comes naturally to me. So I was also teaching at college. So I was kind of very interested in kind of nurturing the young minds and learning from them also, because there's a different thought process. I mean, by the time you kind of talk to a generation next, you will actually start thinking like them, because it kind of just changes your perspective totally. In fact, I sit and have conversations with my son where I learn from him that what's happening right now. So it kind of just changes your perspective. So I think I always found that very fascinating. So that's why I went to teach so that I could learn. And then again, I was teaching, I was kind of consulting to other firms for their projects and stuff. So I was not very serious about ZERO9 as a project, because we were just taking it lightly. Never did marketing, never did any sort of look at my work and stuff like that. And then I think we moved to Dubai for a short period again due to some commitment with another firm, and we kind of were growing their business out there in Dubai, and was kind of experimenting and exploring the city of Dubai and Abu Dhabi both. And we were kind of quite blessed with a couple of projects around as well. So that was a good boost. And then eventually we had to come back because we were done with the tenure. So when we came back, that is when I decided that yes, now let's focus on ZERO9 so that we can now completely get onto ZERO9 and let's build the brand. Till then, I think for that 2005 to 2010, we were just floating.
Oh, interesting.
Just enjoying a honeymoon period sort of a thing. But that's when 2010 happened, we kind of started taking things into our grip, and we kind of started kind of getting into the action mode and asking for projects and shamelessly putting us forward and stuff like that.
How hard was that? Because a lot of architects find it very hard to put themselves out and to market themselves, to ask for business. And there's a little taboo. Marketing in the space of architecture has been a taboo thing because, of course, the code by which the architects need to adhere by, there are limitations in the way you can market yourself. I think it's gotten a little loosened up. But how did that work for you?
So I was quite shameless in asking work, because I think अगर आप शर्म करोगे तो आप पीछे रह जाओगे. So you kind of have to go in aggressive. You have to kind of ask for work and stuff like that. And that is what we've done for the initial years. These days, of course, things have changed a lot, and we've been quite selective in what kind of work we take in, because we don't want to kind of really be doing everything that comes in. We want to kind of select, because what happens is a project is published, and then we get multiple calls saying that we want to do a similar house. I mean, similar house is not motivating for me. If I had to do the same house, I'm not here to kind of set up a factory that similar house ek type ka, because we kind of really put in a lot of efforts tailor making a home for a particular person, and it would be very very wrong on my part to kind of just copy that same thing which I've done for this person and paste it to another client. So that's why I always felt that, and it would not even get me engaged into the project, because then it would be a simple copy paste project. So that's where we kind of refused these kind of projects, and we said that this is the project, you have the pictures, and if you want to replicate it, you're free to do that. You can just hire a contractor and get it done, because that's when you don't need us. You don't need the value addition of ZERO9 to kind of tailor make your home, because it is not tailor made. It is some sort of a copy or some sort of a imitation. So you can absolutely go ahead and do that, because nobody is going to regulate that. So you can definitely do that. But that's when we kind of stepped out and said that no, we don't want to replicate a place. So it kind of just puts you in a different thought process, because every project that you take, you want to be self-motivated about it. You want to be running your own steam rather than a client whipping you that अरे मेरा project क्यों नहीं किया, या अरे मेरा काम क्यों नहीं कर रहे. So we are quite fast forward in terms of delivering also, because before a client can think something, we have already presented that to them. And I think that's why work from home kind of really plays a big role for us to kind of achieve that kind of efficiency.
But how do you get, I know you mentioned to me offline that working from home has been, from COVID, you'll have been working from home. You've still not gotten people back into offices yet, continuing to grow and do amazing work from home. But the trend is कि अब सब कोई लोगों को वापस ऑफिस में बुला रहे हैं, right? तो how is this working? आप टीम को मैनेज कैसे कर रहे हो? How do you know they're being efficient or not?
So we are from Mumbai,
Yeah.
and it's a hidden truth of Mumbai that it's a city full of traffic, and it would always give anybody and everybody a bahana that
Yeah.
I am late because of traffic. So every day we used to hear that earlier,
Yeah.
that the office time is 10 a.m. but people used to turn up by 10:30, and by the time they're in office at 10:30 they would want to relax because the traffic stress
एक
is
घंटा डेढ़ घंटा तो
so it kind of just led you to eventually start work at 11ish, 11:15ish, and then by the time you have lunch, and then you kind of so what used to happen is we used to kind of really lag a lot in the day. Our day used to literally end by 8:39 minimum, and of course at times stretch to 10:30 and 11 also.
right.
And this used to leave us and of course the team also with no me time or family time or
Right.
personal time, I would say.
Right.
So while this was happening, COVID was happening, I think we realized that now we can start at 9 a.m. sharp
Yeah.
without any stress. I mean, I don't care whether you shower or not.
Yeah.
I really don't care whether you are having lunch or not.
Yeah.
I don't care whether you are doing your breakfast while you're working. I'm absolutely fine with it. As
Yeah.
long as the result is delivered for the
Right.
day, we are absolutely fine with it.
Right.
So this is what changed the thought process for us, and I think we found a lot of efficiency in this, and we were seeing that a lot of things were getting delivered, and people are self-motivated now. So they know that they are going to get their own nap if they want to. They are going to get that family time also if they want to. They want to go for a movie and come back and then work. That is also okay with us.
So refreshing to hear. But face to face interaction का miss नहीं होता कि
No,
वो
no,
एक bonding camaraderie
नहीं, of course we meet once a month kind of a thing. We kind
Alright.
of go out for lunches. We kind of meet at sites. We meet at
Yeah.
material selection. But just the element of day-to-day travel of office has been taken off. So otherwise everything is quite normal.
Some people would say that you're the heartbeat of the Mumbai architectural social scene. That you're always, full of life, always trying to collaborate and work with people. And there's no sense of competition as such in the Mumbai architect and design space, right? From Delhi, here it's a little different, right? Everyone's a little guarded. I think COVID के बाद थोड़ा change हुआ है, but everyone's very guarded. Here, very few designers interact with each other. How did you come about to, into this space, this energy? Where does this come from for you?
I personally believe that energy is infectious.
Yeah.
So if you have that energy around you,
Yeah.
automatically it kind of creates a circle of
Right.
energy. And I think we are living in information age.
Yeah.
आज मुझे अगर कुछ चीज चाहिए और आप नहीं बताओगे तो कोई और
कोई
बता
बता
देगा,
देगा।
कोई और नहीं बताएगा तो गूगल बता देगा.
Correct.
So it's not, nothing is hidden,
Yeah.
today. So we kind of have interactions within our known circles, and we shamelessly ask for कि vendor base कौन है. We in fact even discuss clients also at times, because there are a lot of clients who hop, they kind of go from one office to the other. So we in fact even ask that, we discuss that as well, and it's quite good to kind of share, because eventually we are not competing for something. We are kind of trying to collaborate and develop a better tomorrow. We are not kind of here to say that अरे मेरे पास इतना business आएगा, तेरे पास उतना आएगा, and that is not the kind of energy that we really share. So I think that way Mumbai circle is quite generated that way. I would not just say Mumbai. I think my friends around in Delhi also are quite helpful that way. I have never faced that what you mentioned, but even Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai.
यहाँ change हो रहा है.
हाँ,
Delhi में
I
change हो रहा है. But traditionally, it's what I have seen, and I could be very wrong, but it's been very guarded kind of scene.
Thankfully, I have not witnessed that guardedness.
Chalo, good.
But I
अच्छा है.
think we've all accepted that what's going to happen is going to happen. I mean, everybody has multiple amount of projects, and we really don't want to. In fact, when we get resumes also, we kind of, if somebody is known, we kind of cross check and verify as well. So everything kind of just is quite transparent in that way. And of course,
Right.
when you say social circle, I think I'm a person who likes to make friends and kind of just be around and energize, I would say. So I kind of like to celebrate life, as I
Yeah.
call it. So it's fun. I mean, if this is one life that we get,
Yeah.
So if not celebrated, then what fun.
Right. You're also on the spiritual side of things. Like the conversation I'm getting from you, that you're very in the moment, always looking to go with the flow of life. Um, any particular incident that was an aha moment to you, or you've always been what I'd say, self-aware, spiritual, not religious spiritual, but self-aware / spiritual?
So I think spiritual, I would say yes, it is exploratory.
Right.
And because I used to kind of explore scriptures also, I kind of came across Dasavatar. So it was very interesting because I found Vishnu being the most creative god, because he kind of, as per the need of the hour, used to transform.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's a fish, sometimes he's a turtle. So all the 10 avatars are need of the hour. That abhi ye chahiye tha, to this is how I
Right.
Narsimha avatar, for example.
Right.
So every avatar of his kind of made me think, oh, this was the requirement. Wow. So very interestingly, he just transforms into this.
Right.
And it kind of just led me into again, deep diving into this key. It is fascinating because eventually you want to achieve that. You want to kind of transform and keep shaping up, keep evolving, keep exploring yourself and transform to another another new aspect of yours. So a lot of times when our projects when they are browsed through, they kind of I don't think you will see similarity, because we don't do design for us. We design for the client. We design to shape them or shape their lifestyle or shape their personality and bring that out. So I think spirituality generally kind of makes you feel that you are zero, you are nothing. Eventually that whole idea of nothingness kind of comes in very handy. Also, it kind of helped me to do Vipassana for 10 long days with zero communication, absolute silence, absolute detachment from the world. So that's why now, I'm kind of very used to, if I'm not given phone for 10 days, I'm absolutely fine with it. So, it kind of just puts you in another zone altogether. And especially in the world where, you have notifications popping up every moment. So it kind of just is very nice thing to do, nice thing to be, and it leaves you with yourself, think more, absorb more, and I think explore more. So I think spirituality definitely helps you to kind of look at the thing from the other side of the world, that in this entire universe you are probably not even that minuscule particle. So it's absolutely fine to just let that ego go away. So
I completely resonate with you on this, because I keep reminding myself and everyone around me that we are on a small planet revolving in the universe among millions and billions of galaxies with billions and trillions of stars and planets. Over a period of some billions of years, humans have been here. Uske pehle humans, millions of years, humans have been here, and uske pehle. So, who are we in this, whole cosmos? And we put so much importance to ourselves कि ये मेरा है, ये उसने मेरे को ऐसे कह दिया. And so refreshing to hear what you say. Now, coming back to the Vipassana experience, you did alone, you did with your wife, she came along with you, is she also on a similar journey? And then how was the experience of actually those 10 days?
I should have taken her along because I went alone. Because what happened is I just kind of came to know about this and I applied online, and I was again lucky and magical things happened to me that I just got selected in the first attempt itself. So a lot of people keep waiting for their number to kind of pop up, but mine kind of just got selected and randomly again. So I just said, oh, fantastic, this is a great opportunity. And I just left, So my wife was left back home with a small kid of 2-year-old, and she was all hassled during the 10 days. But when I came back and she was all going on, about all the hassles that she had to go through for the 10 days, I was zen. I was just Okay. I mean, I was just silent, because for me, even to touch the phone after those 10 days was becoming difficult because I didn't know how to operate a phone
Right.
after 10 days, So you kind of are lost in that moment of zero because, what zero is then, Yeah, so
It's
that
amazing,
completely.
that feeling of nothingness. The mind
Exactly.
stops talking. It's just complete,
Exactly.
the
And
mental chatter.
even you cannot have eye contact with
Yeah.
the fellow Vipassana
Yeah.
mates. So you can't really have any eye conversation as well. So it's a different world altogether. And I think people should try it. Especially in the days now where this is so much of buzz happening everywhere, and you're constantly on the run. You're kind of every moment you're trying to struggle to get a project or to kind of get in that client or make that extra buck. I think it eventually, what are we living for? We are living for a good life eventually. So that comes only when you have good deeds in place.
Interesting. So, do you recommend doing Vipassana or some kind of spiritual practice to young
Definitely yes.
designers?
Definitely yes.
Yeah. I think that, a calm mind really allows for creativity to flow.
Very true.
And also a lot of discipline comes in.
Absolutely true again. Coming back to discipline, I think, so as you mentioned that I am the whatever heartbeat of the social circle and stuff like that. So I definitely go to all these events and parties and stuff. But then I've kind of limited myself that how much time I would want to be
Right.
there, because then I want to sleep early also.
Yeah.
I really don't want to stretch myself to a long night and then tire myself and then kind of have a hangover next day and stuff like that. So I really don't want to do that. So I kind of limit myself and ensure that this is my cutoff time from here. Maximum I would stretch another 5-10 minutes here and there, but then that's the kind of cutoff that I really try to keep for myself.
What's a daily routine like?
uh, so on a good day, I am up at 4:35ish. I meditate. Uh, but on a regular day, I think I wake up at 7ish and I go cycling. So that's the another form of meditation that I do. And on a regular day, then I think once I'm out for cycling, I think I'm back with full thrill and
Yeah.
excitement, because then I've had that energy burst in myself, and then I kind of come back and I just start working. So by morning 8:39, I think my clients are a little harrowed with me because I send them early morning messages for follow-ups.
But it's better to have the client harrowed than you being harrowed by the client at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning,
Very
right?
true, very true.
Yeah, and I wish for our audience, and especially the younger generation, I think this is, I would not like to advise, but I'm going to say it. Well, starting your day 2 hours before everyone else does, right? Or generally people do, is the best way to get a lot of things done, because
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And I think I want to really cut off my day by 6:30 p.m. I really want to cut it off.
Yeah.
There are days when I kind of have to stretch it till 7 and 7:30. But then I prefer to finish my dinner, which is very light dinner, by 7:30ish. And then I'm done for the day. So, that is when I just switch off my laptop and I'm just out. कि अब खत्म हो गया. Now, so even if you message me after that, I will see it next day morning.
So for me, the first COVID lockdown still has the fondest memories, because the first 3 days was Netflix dekha of the lockdown, right? And not knowing what's happening, etc. And then something snapped, and I started waking up at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
COVID mein, lockdown mein, my wife thought I'd gone mad, but she joined me on that. So she would wake up at 5:30, I would wake up at 5. Would work out, would read a book. And those mornings, till date, I've still not gone back to 5 a.m. Now I wake up at 5:45. But that that whole space of that 2 hours in the morning before anyone else is awake is just surreal.
Absolutely, absolutely. So your lockdown word kind of just brings me to that memories, because we just moved into a new house.
Yeah.
Just before lockdown, I think
Okay.
about 30 days odd.
Right.
Moved into the new house, and we were like literally, daily traveling with bags, and we had like literally our bags parked at the entrance itself, so that this has to be done, that travel has to be done, someday Delhi, someday Nagpur, and someday Indore and stuff like that. And then we once just sat down and I just spoke to my wife that we've come to a new house and we've still not been able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think the cosmos just heard it. And first part of the lockdown, we had a great family time, because we used to all sit, chat, enjoy, cook, have tea together, sit in the balcony, enjoy the sunsets, uh, cook, like literally cook for a long period of time, and enjoy the meal for like half an hour, but cook for like 3 hours and 4 hours, and then of course clean and do all the house chores. Of course, by that 2 months odd, we were kind of tired of that.
But I don't think the bonding so me and my wife were, and I had my cousin brother with me. The three of us were locked down in Delhi all alone. I don't think I could have bonded with my wife the way we bonded during COVID, and with myself personally. I used to run the kitchen every day, lunch for like a month and a half.
Nice.
I made, and I think it was the most amazing experience. And sometimes I wish people are going to hate me for saying this. I'm not going to say it.
Same.
But some kind of where there should be forced on everyone.
Let me say that.
Please go ahead.
I don't
Please
mind
go ahead.
being the bad one. Every 3 months we should have a lockdown.
साल में एक बार. The sky had become blue.
Yeah, exactly.
The temperature had dropped by 4 degrees.
The pollution was like zero, almost, So I think every 3 months we should have a week down. Downtime, a complete downtime. But during lockdown, of course, we kind of got very fond with our plants, and we kind of were, constantly growing this, growing that. We were kind of, नींबू आया तो नींबू में से seed लगा के seed उगा रहे. So, it was fascinating. In fact, now my even son has started growing, mini plants in his balcony, and it has, I think, encouraged us to kind of take care of plants, grow them.
I have a very funny story about plants. So it was lockdown, and my wife and I have no idea. We had plants, वो हमको थोड़ा हरियाली चाहिए था घर में, मतलब balcony में. We had no clue about it, and our plants started dying. We were watering it, and it was dying, and we couldn't figure out what had happened. Because Mali wali to koi, we had a little Mali used to come and look after it. And I remember one of the architects in Delhi, Ruby ma'am, Archie Hives, and I did a video call with her, and I knew she was big into gardening and plants and all. And I did a video call with her, and as he baat ho raha hai, she was saying, Akhilesh, my garden is looking so lovely, and every day I've been gardening. So I said, can we do a video call, and can you tell me what's wrong with my plants? And she agreed. And I flipped the camera around and I showed her my plant, and I got a lecture from her. I said, what have you done? And then, she helped us, like gave us a few tips and this thing. And we got it back to the right way. We realized that we had winter plants and it had become summer, so we had to do a couple of things. So it very interesting.
So again, composting was something that I learned, but I've still not been very religious and disciplined about it. But I eventually want to do it. So hopefully someday I'll be getting into that mode of composting as well. But that's again on my bucket list, I would say.
But I know COVID too, the second lockdown was a very, very tough time for you. And
don't remind me of that. Actually that was Prashant Chauhan 2.0 after COVID lockdown 2, because second wave was very difficult with us. My wife got COVID, and we didn't know that she got COVID because we could not detect, because the results were not getting
4-5 दिन बाद आ रहा था, आ ही नहीं रहा था.
So she decided to hospitalize herself, and she just called me to hospital also. So I also got hospitalized because I thought that the doctor had called me, and she told me that, just come and get hospitalized. So she was on oxygen. Then we had to be moved into a government facility of COVID. This thing in Mumbai, it was very well organized. I hear a lot of horror stories from Delhi that oxygen was difficult to get, and remdesivir was difficult to get. But I think we got everything on time without even asking for it. I remember there were firefighting teams which were now appointed as COVID volunteers. And they were changing my oxygen cylinder in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. and stuff like that. And I used to like literally look at them that, how dedicated these guys are. wearing that entire
PP
PPE
kit. Yeah.
completely. I'm sure they must be drenching in sweat inside, but they were taking utmost care of me because I think I was not even able to walk. So I was being moved on wheelchair to even get an X-ray done. I was on oxygen for 5 days, and I was like literally just
So you're very fortunate that your wife made that call
yeah,
of getting the two of you into
exactly,
the hospital.
exactly. So she made that call, and she took me along, and I think she got me admitted also at the COVID hospital. So she was, I think, pretty stable by then, and
Yeah.
she kind of got our processes done. So again, magically living this life.
So what's Prashant 2.0 versus 2.1, 1.0? What's the change? What's the outlook in life that's changed?
I think I still want to be explorative. I still want to be curious. I still want to be learner. Uh, want to constantly, do some sort of a khujli and kida and stuff like that. Like now, recently making music on AI or something of that sort. So that is always been kind of curiosity. So I think I'm more full of gratitude now, which kind of it's like the second life. So I'm kind of living a life full of gratitude. I'm kind of very thankful to everybody who's kind of come with me on my journey, helped me in some or the other way, blessed me in some or the other way. So it's kind of just gratitude everywhere. I mean, just thankful to everything that's been happening magically.
Wow, thank you for that. That's very, very powerful. I want to talk a little bit about the work that you've done. Couple of projects that are very dear to you, something that you like look back and say, like, really, that did that. Wow. Or when you actually felt that you made it to a particular, I won't say level, but where you actually felt that you made it in your field, where sense of satisfaction came in.
Okay. So I think that way each project is kind of very dear because we kind of first, we don't start with the design without getting to know the client. So first step is always to kind of, interact and listen.
Yeah.
So first तो हमारा zip ही रहता है कि हम सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं, हमें कुछ बोलना नहीं आता, we are mute. As we're just listening to them constantly, that what is it that in their heart that they are saying, and what is it in their heart that they are not saying. Because a lot of times, clients tend to get confused that what they want. And I think it's a fine line to kind of learn a person of what that person is not saying and understand that person. So, it kind of just, I think all the spirituality and all the scriptures and everything kind of just help you learn more about a human not saying certain things, just with body gestures, explaining certain things. So I think it just helps you to evolve better. And I think particularly I would like to mention one bungalow weekend home that we had done for a client, and it was done on a plot which I was just taken to randomly one fine day. We want to make a bungalow, let's go. I said okay, because the client was known, and we had done a couple of projects for them in the past. And I think we are quite blessed with repetitive clientele. I think that's a big thing coming into the design field, because that kind of speaks about the trust, that a client can have on us. And I think all our clients till date are in touch with us, and no random fights and stuff like that. It kind of just is a good healthy bond which we share with the clients. Some of the clients have also become an extended family to us now. So it kind of just takes you in another space altogether. And once you have that kind of trust, you really know what that person is trying to say. So on the day one, the client told me that we want to build something very small out here, and we don't want to kind of spend too much.
Right.
So I said okay, take it. I'm listening. And then at the site, I saw there were 6 trees which were existing, and it was a small plot of 4,000 square feet, and sorry, 2,500 square feet, and it was a small plot with 6 trees in it existing. And I said it would be definitely criminal to kind of cut these trees. These are beautiful trees, I personally cherish a tree because it takes a lot of time to grow a tree. So, it automatically is a big investment that you're making, and it is already there. I definitely knew that cutting these trees definitely don't make any sense. And we definitely had an opportunity out here to make something with the existing trees.
Right.
So we started making a design. And I don't think we had a tough time convincing the client that why we want to plan this without cutting the trees. So the client was also kind of quite happy to have the trees integrated, because what I sold them was that if we have this tree, we'll get lifelong supply of coconut water for the entire time of your weekend home.
You really know how to simplify the most complex things into a
Exactly.
simple way of convincing
So
them.
there were 5 coconut trees and 1 mango tree. So I just had to simply, bank upon those. Okay, every year summers में you are going to have achar made from your home, and you're going to have nariyal pani whenever you come to the weekend home. So it was that simple, and I think that kind of really played in very strongly, because that project kind of once was made. Of course, we had a lot of tweaking, planning, a lot of things to be done around a tree being a part of your house. So a lot of detailing was done around it. But that project kind of took us international. It kind of won a lot of national awards. It won a lot of international awards. It kind of brought us, I would say, into the limelight that we've done this kind of a project, and it kind of just became the buzz. I think that's where we kind of started getting into the eyeballs of the media, that okay, we've done something like that, and it kind of just changed the course of direction, I guess.
Nice. This is covered. Was this covered with Build-O-Fi also? No.
Yes,
it was
Build-O-Fi, or Build-O-Fi is owned by this guy, 50 Amazing Homes.
Yeah.
So 50 Amazing Homes we were also featured, and I think we were the youngest firm to be featured that time.
All right.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now we are exploring to do a jungle house, to do a house in the forest, which is kind of exploratory again.
Right.
So that's the new thing that we are trying. So I think I am very much inspired by nature and life, and generally to see things grow around you is another kick. Is another level of high that you get.
This is all nice stuff. Now let's come to the challenges that you face, right? What are the mistakes that you've made that you wish you could go back, or you would want people not to repeat? Like, what would you share to designers or architects who are coming into this space, young, wanting to build some amazing stuff, but a couple of things you want to share with them that from your experience that you've learned that they should really stay away from?
So I think definitely number one is, don't take up a project just because somebody is going to pay you. Take up a project if that project motivates you, is a project which you would want to work at 2 a.m. in the night, or whenever you wake up, or you just is a self-driven kind of a project, and not a punishment given to you. So,
but I'm sure you've done projects where you've done it just for the money. I'm sure in the initial...
I really don't think so. So, it has never been of that case. And I think those projects when we did, so we kind of course, there were only, I think, 2 or 3. So that's why the faint memories of that. But when we did that, we knew that this is definitely not a clientele we want to have, So when you have a certain segment of people who, look at only a certain thing, and it does not let you explore beyond that, then you kind of limit yourself, that you definitely don't want to take that kind of so that those are red flags for us then eventually.
Very nice. Anything else that you want to share?
I think a mistake that I have made is to kind of not explore too much in the construction industry. I think I still really need to learn a lot in terms of the construction industry, know a lot more about the systems and stuff, which of course you kind of learn on the job. But I think if I would have been exploring more 10 years into the construction industry, I would have kind of delivered probably much better. But eventually you kind of learn on the job. So I think the initial 5 years of your career, you definitely need to dedicate to learning. And once you're done with that, you remove the L board, then you can earn. So,
But do you ever stop learning?
no, not really. Not
Yeah.
really. I think I really keep learning. Even I mean, there are things which are just constantly evolving, and some things getting changed every
Yeah.
minute. There are new materials popping in. There are new technologies coming in. There is this whole new world of metaverse which is coming into picture. There is this whole AI which is fascinating totally, because now today you can type a few commands and you can generate brilliant concepts. So these are things which really keep you on the toes. I think lifelong learning is definitely something that Professor Akhtar Chauhan has taught me, and I think I've imbibed that from the college itself. So I think that will stay with me for life.
Wonderful. So there's a whole topic on music and AI,
Yeah.
metaverse. It's a whole new thing that I wanted to explore with you in this podcast, but uh, I think we'll have to keep that for another episode, and I would love to have you back on the show again in the future.
Lovely.
But before we wrap up, one last thing. Couple of books that you've read and you would recommend our listeners and our viewers to definitely read, even if they're not from the space of architecture, but something that's very dear to you and you would recommend people to read.
I think apart from the typical rich dad poor dad and all of those financial things, I think finance is definitely something that all the architects should kind of expose themselves to, because we are financially quite illiterate, I would say. We really don't. We are never taught, and we are never wanting to explore that part of the business aspect, because eventually it is a business that what we are doing. We are of course providing service, but we have to kind of
run it like a business, right?
Exactly.
Every business exists to make money.
Exactly. So apart from the business and finance part of the books, I think definitely something on the lines of spirituality is a genre that you should explore, and I think I would leave that option open to you, that I don't want to recommend a name that read into Deepak Chopra or read into Sadhguru or read into Jaya Rao and stuff like that. I think I have explored everyone, and I have kind of read through and I've learned thoughts from them. In fact, these days, more than reading, there are a lot of motivational speakers who kind of have YouTube channels like Sandeep Maheshwari or Ujjwal Patil, and so it kind of just Ujjwal Patni, sorry. So it kind of just brings you to another level of thinking, because these entrepreneurs have actually are the real life examples that how they started in 2010 and how they've grown to what level they are now, and it kind of is constantly motivating. Apart from, of course, the design books and design magazines, I think knowledge is everywhere, and I think let's not just restrict our knowledge to the books. We should just be very observatory, I feel, and I think that's what I tell to my son also, that we just have to observe. That's it. If we observe, we'll automatically kind of start becoming more curious, because the minute you are curious, then you want to explore, and once you want to explore, you want to kind of deep dive or gain knowledge into it. So I think the first step is definitely observe.
Thank you so much for that, Prashant.
Absolute pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you. In one of our earlier podcasts, we had discussed with Jaskaran from Fab in Delhi. He spoke very highly of the importance of finance for young designers, especially when you're starting off young. Just to share with you what he shared, and for the viewers also, you can go back and look at that episode in that particular section. He said that once the problem of the day-to-day life paycheck is taken care of, right, the creativity just flows.
Absolutely.
And
I agree.
Yeah. So, last advice: where do you invest your money? Where do you recommend people to put their money? How do you?
So I think I don't want to put it in one basket.
Yeah.
I like to spread it.
Right.
There are some stocks, there are some mutual funds, there are some real estate investments, and of course, things here and there. So gold, of course, is a all-time asset. So there's multiple of channels. Apart from that, I think the most important part of it is invest in life. That's the most important part of, all those investments are definitely there.
Yeah.
But if you invest in your
Yeah.
life and invest in your lifestyle, I think that's the best investment. Invest in your health. That's the best investment you can have, because
Absolutely.
what good if all these are there and you're still not healthy enough to enjoy it. So I definitely think that you need to definitely invest in your life,
Right.
enjoy life and celebrate life.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you
Pleasure.
so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. As I said earlier, I wish we could just go on and on and on. And I want to have you back on very, very soon. We have to go into the metaverse and the AI side of things and explore a little bit more about you and who you are. But thank you so much, and absolute pleasure having you here.
Super. I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah. Done.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks.
Pleasure.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.